Привет, друзья! Today I'm gonna talk about two verbs. These are very common Russian verbs and they have weird conjugation because as a rule all common verbs, not just in the Russian language but in all other languages, so the verbs that are common and often used by natives tend to be irregular ones, and these verbs I'm going to talk about are not exception. So here we have the verb быть and есть. Why these two verbs are mixed up by students? I want to show you this. So as you see, we have the verb есть, to eat, and the verb быть, to be. And here you can see the conjugation for this verb and the conjugation for this verb. And in the present tense, which is over here, for present tense we have the same form of the verb to be as we have here for the verb to eat. So here we have есть, it is the infinitive, to eat, and here we have есть, it is the present form of the verb to be, and they are the same. And now I want to show you and to tell you the rules when we have to say есть, when we have to say in which constructions we have to use есть. Okay, let's start with the verb есть, to eat. Here you can see three columns, and this is a list of conjugation for past tense, present tense, and future tense. If you are a complete beginner, if you are A0 to A2 level, it is enough to use this conjugation. If you are A2 and A2 plus student, you already know about the verb aspect, and the next page shows you the full conjugation table for this verb. But let's come back to this page. If you are a complete beginner, it is fine to use only these three columns. Okay, past tense. In the past tense, we have these three forms. Он ел, она ела, они ели. So it is for singular, masculine and feminine, and it is for plural. Okay, so this is the past tense. This is the conjugation of the verb есть in the past tense. Great. Let's proceed to the present tense. Here we have six forms. Я ем, ты ешь, он, она ест, мы едим, вы едите, они едят. Pay attention to the stress. When you conjugate the verb, pay attention to the stress. So one more time, I ask you to repeat after me. Я ем, ты ешь, он, она ест, мы едим, вы едите, они едят. Okay? And future tense. Я буду есть, ты будешь есть, он, она будет есть, мы будем есть, вы будете есть, они будут есть. As you see, we don't conjugate the verb, we just leave it as it is, just because we have the verb буду, which is like the auxiliary verb in the English language, will, да? And let me remind you the rule: if we have two verbs standing together, like in our situation, we conjugate only the first one. The second remains unchanged, so we just leave it as it is, as the infinitive. That's why we say я буду есть. We don't conjugate the verb есть. Okay, great. Now let's go to the second page. This is, as I've already said, the full table of the conjugation of the verb есть. This is for advanced students, not advanced, I mean A2 level, who already know about the verb aspect. This is the perfective verb that we use. Okay, let's take a look at the examples. Я люблю есть ночью. I love to eat at night. Here we use the infinitive because we have люблю. When we have two verbs standing together, like in our case, люблю есть, we conjugate only the first one. So люблю, я люблю, and then we just add the infinitive. Я люблю есть ночью. Okay. Я не ем гамбургеры, потому что я на диете. This is the negative sentence. I don't eat hamburgers because I'm on a diet. Я не ем гамбургеры. Okay. Я не помню, что я ел вчера. Past tense. I don't remember what I ate yesterday. It is the literal translation. Я не помню, что я ел вчера. We have form ел, which is this one. So it means that this sentence, the man is saying this sentence because we have ел. It is the form for masculine gender. Okay, and я больше не буду есть шоколад. It means I won't eat chocolate anymore. It is future tense, as you see. Here, больше means anymore. Да? Я больше не буду есть шоколад. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the verb to be, быть. We also have three conjugation columns for past tense, present tense, and future tense. Let's take a look at the past tense. Okay. Он был, he was. Она была, she was. Они были, they were. Okay, so we have three forms here. Then present tense. Here we have only one form, which is есть. But in the present tense, we don't use this form. We omit it. It doesn't mean that we don't have it. We do have it, we just don't pronounce it. When in English we have to say I am at home, in Russian we don't say я есть дома. No, we just say я дома. We don't pronounce it. We do have it, still we don't pronounce it. Future. Я буду, I will be. Да? Ты будешь, он, она будет, мы будем, вы будете, и они будут. And now I want to tell you when actually we have to say есть, because there are two situations when we have to say есть in the present tense. Okay, so this is it, the verb to be. This is our conjugation for this verb, and let's follow this arrow. So есть is used in two situations. Situation number one, when we want to say I have something as a part of the construction, I have something. So in Russian it is у меня есть. Например, for example, if you want to say I have a car, you should say у меня есть машина. The word that we have, the object that we have, we do not change, because grammatically this word is a subject and grammatically есть is a verb. Okay. У него есть жена. He has a wife. You may ask me what these pronouns mean. Меня is a form of я. It's just the genitive case or accusative case. These pronouns coincide in these both cases. Него is on, he, but it is another form we have to use. In this case, it is the genitive case. So next page shows these full list that you have to use, but we will come back to it later. And the second situation when we have to use есть is a part of a phrase there is, there are. So when in English you say there is something somewhere, in Russian we use the following construction. So first we identify the location where, then we say есть, and then we say what exactly we have there. Например, в машине есть GPS. So there is GPS in a car. В машине есть GPS. Или на столе есть книги. There are books on the table. So first we say the location, на столе. Then we say есть. Есть. So again, let me remind you, есть means are or is. Есть книги. Хорошо. Now let's briefly look at the form I have something. So how we have to change pronouns. I just want to read it with, and if you want, you can revise it one more time. If you don't know it, you can learn it over here. У меня есть. У тебя есть. У него есть. Pay attention that we spell G, but we pronounce V. У него есть. У нее есть. У нас есть. У вас есть. У них есть. If you want to say the same thing but in the past tense, like I had something, you should use, instead of the verb есть, you should say the form, past form, был or была or были, depending on what you want to say. Например, у меня была машина. In this case, we chose the form была because машина is feminine. Why we have to focus on the word машина in this case? Because машина grammatically, from grammatical point of view, машина is the subject. So машина should agree, the subject always agrees with the verb. So машина is feminine. That's why we have to agree agree this subject with the verb. Машина была. Так. And for future, if you want to say like I will have something, you should say у меня будут деньги, например, or будет if it is singular. In the future tense, we have only two forms. If it is singular, like машина, you should say будет. You should say this form. If you're talking about something that is plural, you should say будут. Например, у меня будут деньги. Деньги is always plural in the Russian language. Деньги, money, is always plural. У меня будут деньги и будет машина. So машина is singular. That's why I chose form будет. Так, хорошо. Let's go to there is, there are construction. So how do we have to use it? On the first place, you should say where something is, где, да? Then we should say есть, this form, and then exactly what there is or there are. Например, в городе есть оперный театр. There is opera theater in the city. Да? В городе есть оперный театр. If you want to say the same thing but in the past tense, instead of есть, we should use the form, past form, был, была or были. Да? Например, в зоопарке были жирафы, но сейчас их там нет. Да? There were giraffes in the zoo, but now they're not there. Да? В зоопарке были жирафы. And the same thing for the future tense is quite easy. Instead of past tense, we should say future tense, future form, будет. And again, будет or будут. We have only two forms. Будет for singular and будут for plural. Например, в университете будет интересная лекция. There will be an interesting lecture at the university. Так, хорошо. Now, if you want to practice yourself, you can pause this video and do the exercises. These exercises contain the verb есть, to eat, in three different tenses: past tense, present tense, and future tense. Here, you can practice the verb to be in the present, past, and future tense. And here you can practice the verb у меня, the verb есть as a part of the construction у меня есть. It's only present tense here. And after you do it, you can check yourself, because here you can see the answers to this. I want to remind you that in September there will be a start of my conversational course for complete beginners. If you are a super beginner, even if you don't know how to read in the Russian language, this is a very good chance for you to start. The course lasts 7 weeks, and during these 7 weeks you will learn to read, to write, to speak. You will get a very important grammatical base that help you start speaking. You can present yourself, you will be able to present yourself, to talk about yourself, where you live, where you work, about your daily routine, and also you will be able to talk about your friends, about your colleagues, about your family members. Don't hesitate and text plus in the comments below, and I will get in touch with you and tell you all important information about the course.